Hello and welcome to Hump Day Lunch Break Live. I hope you are enjoying your day. I hope you have a good lunch. If you're joining, please let me know where you're joining from and what you're having for lunch today. I would love to know. Today I just felt like doing something tropical. I wanted to have some warmth brought in and show you a quick card. Now this stamp set and die bundle are retiring, so they will not be available after May 2nd, and they are while supplies last. And when I last checked, they were in stock, so hopefully you'll be able to order them. So let's get going. Hello, Becky. How are you today? I'm just pulling up my feed, and then we'll get started on our card. So here is today's card, and I will have everything listed shortly, but because I am on my lunch break and I do have meetings all day, it won't be until this evening that I have everything posted everywhere. So let's get going here. So we're going to be using our Timeless Tropical stamp set and the coordinating dies called In the Tropics to make this card. Okay. We will also be using our watercolor pencils, our Stays On black, jet black ink, our Bermuda Bay, Coastal Cabana, and Daffodil Delight stamp pads. I'm going to pull in our tailored tag punch. Now, if you don't have the punch, that's fine. You can cut out a tag or cut out a label from any of your other dies. And we'll also be featuring the Gentle Waves stamp set. Now, this is available in our mini catalog, or spring mini catalog, or January to May catalog. So if you're interested in this, you will want to really think about it, because I haven't seen it in the new catalog. And yes, I have seen the new catalog. In fact, I got my hard copy just the other day. Super excited, but I can't share it with you. So the only people that get to see that right now are demonstrators. So if you're the type of person that likes to see everything first before everyone else does, then think about purchasing the starter kit, and you can get that. You can get it ahead of time. You can order from it ahead of time. In fact, I get to start ordering April 1st. And then in May, you're set to go. You have everything ready to share with people. All right, let's get going here. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to be taking our Gentle Waves stamp set. And I am going to pull in my Stamparatus just because it makes it easier, because this is a big background set stamp. Here we go. I did not get your messages, Becky. I will check back. I didn't see it prompt, so yeah, let me make sure. If you posted to the My Stamp Studio page, I should get them. Otherwise, just go ahead and direct message me, Beth Burke Maxwell. So I just put in a comment so you can see who I am. You can message me. If you need to be friend request, just go ahead and send me a friend request and I'll accept it. All right. So the first thing that we're going to do, I should probably share with you the cardstock that we're going to be using. So I have a piece of Daffodil Delight, and this measures 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. I have a piece of basic white that measures 4 by 5 1/4, and that's for the inside of our card. I have in fact, I actually have 2 card bases here, because this card and with the way we're cutting, we're going to be able to make 2 cards right away. I also have a piece of Coastal Cabana, and I have a piece of Sahara Sand. And I will give you those measurements as we start breaking them down. Okay, so the first thing here, I have another piece of basic white. This measures 5.5 by 4. And that is so that we can stamp our background stamp on there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually add just a tad bit of adhesive to the back here. And I'm going to make it not so tacky, because I don't want it to stick to that paper or stick to my tabletop. So I'm just, the oils from my finger are making it a little less tacky. If it's still really tacky, take it on your shirt and get some of the lint from your shirt on there. Okay, we just want it to kind of stay in place while we're stamping. So I'm just going to rub that down a little bit. When you're using the background stamps, you can't really put your magnet on the paper to hold it down. I am going to put my magnet here, though, to hold my scrap piece down. That'll just make it a little easier. And now I'm going to take this, I'm going to layer it right over the top of my cardstock. I'll have to move that down just a little bit. And I'm just making sure that it's going to fit across. So let's just make sure this is right there. And the key reason for me kind of to keep it down on that paper is so that if I need to re-ink for any reason, let's say a spot didn't get inked fully, I can easily lift it up and re-ink again. So here we go. I'm just going to get that so it sticks to my plate. Now I'm going to take in my Coastal Cabana, and I'm going to do the top part of my stamp here. Okay. I like to also put a stamp case underneath so that this makes it a little bit more level when I'm stamping. All right. I need to grab in a little blender brush as well. I'm going to show you. Oh, darn, I just dropped them all over my floor. Oops. All right. So I've got a little blender brush here. All right. So the other ones we'll just put right here. Okay. And now I'm going to bring in my Bermuda Bay. I'm going to stamp the other half just like that. I'm going to come back in with my Coastal Cabana and my blending brush and just kind of blend in that middle where those two colors met. And we'll blend this in just a little bit too. All right, make it a little softer looking. Now, I'm going to go ahead and push this down. Now, sometimes with the Stamparatus, I do actually like to stand so I get a nice even pressure on it. But you can take like a dry eraser, and that's all it is, just a dry board eraser. And we'll go ahead and push that down nice and even. Okay, and now when I lift it up, if I found a spot like over here, it didn't stamp fully, I can go back and push it down again, or I can even go back and add some more ink. Part of this is just getting the leverage on there. So I'm going to go ahead and make sure I'm pressing down really smooth. All right, and I'm not going to worry about this little end piece here. Let's see if we can get this piece over here, though. Okay, we'll just push down just a little bit more. There we go. That should be enough. All right. I'm going to take this piece out. I'm going to put this off to the side so I can clean it, and then, because we're done with this for right now, I'm just going to put actually right back on my stamp case. There we go. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pull in a scrap piece of my basic white. Now, I'll have all the supplies listed in a little recipe PDF that you can download from my website. This time, excuse me, I am going to use my magnet here to hold my paper in place. And what I want to do is, oh, and I was saying I was going to have the recipe listed on my website this evening. I'll put a link in the comments and the video description so you can go back and find it. I'm taking my palm trees now. Oh, I don't need the block. And I'm just going to put it right here. Just like that. You know what? I'm going to go. I lied. I'm trying to see how I can maximize my paper space, but I guess we'll just put it right here. All right, and I'll put that down. Bring my stamp case back in, and I'm going to pull in my StazOn. Now, the reason I'm using StazOn is because I'm going to be using those watercolor pencils. And if I use Memento, that ink will bleed. The StazOn will not when you're using the watercolor pencils in water. So I'm going to go ahead and ink this up. Reason I'm using my Stamparatus here is if I decide that my image isn't dark enough, I can re-ink and stamp again, and it'll be perfectly positioned so I don't have to try and guess if I'm lining it up. That's what's great about this. So I'm going to make this a little darker and get a nice vibrant look here. Right. There we go. Okay, and now I'll slide this over. Now, with the Stays On ink, you want to make sure that you get that cleaned right away. I strongly recommend using a Stays On cleaner. So I'm going to go ahead and do that right away because I don't want that Stays On to permanently mark up my stamp here. So I'm just getting my little cleaner out here. Ooh, ooh, that had a scent to it. All right. So I've got all the ink off over here. All right, good. That's nice and clean. Now I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing with my little pineapple. So this cute little pineapple right here in the stamp set. I'm going to grab that out. And I do have more cards made, so I'll be sharing those throughout the week. And this one, I'm actually just going to go ahead and stamp with a block. I don't necessarily feel I have to use my... Go ahead and put that right here. All right. Now, if I was going to make 2 cards, I would actually double this up. So I do another palm tree and another pineapple. But for the video, I'm only going to do 1. Get that stamp clean right away so that Stays On doesn't stain. All right, cover my Stays On up right away because that will evaporate. These do dry out pretty quickly. When you do get these, there is a plastic insert. Make sure you keep that. Now, I went ahead and inserted mine into the cover using dimensionals so that it will always keep my stamp pad covered. Because like I said, those do evaporate pretty quickly, so make sure you keep that. Don't throw it away. All right. Let's go ahead now and bring in our watercolor pencils. We'll move this right out of the way. And I'm going to grab out the Old Olive and Early Espresso. Old Olive, Early Espresso, and Daffodil. All right. And let's start coloring here. So I'm going to go ahead and color my palm trees here. You can use markers, but if when you use the Stays On, if you're going to use blends though, make sure you use Memento. All right, and then I'm going to put some color here, but I'm also going to come back in with my daffodil and put some color in over here. All right, to blend those together, I'm going to go ahead and pull in one of my water painters. Okay, so you want to start this so it has a little bit of water coming out. So you just push, and then you can see that water coming out. I like to have a towel or a paper towel right next to me when I'm doing that. I don't want a whole lot of liquid coming through here. I just want enough to kind of blend those colors together. And it does give it a watercolor look. So when you are doing this, you might get it off the edges, and that's fine. That's the way it's supposed to be. All right. So we've got our little pineapple done. I'm going to come back in now with our Old Olive and color this in. Same with up here. I'm just adding some color. I'm not really coloring in any particular line. I'm just adding some color. All right. And I'll come back in with my aqua painter, or my water painter. It used to be called aqua painter. And now you can see that I can kind of spread out that color. So I still have the nice detail of the Stays On there, but I have also some color. And this is where I was saying you can kind of see that with that watercolor look, it pulls that color out and about. So you'll get a little bit of, I don't want to say like haze. It's not a mistake. It's the way it should be. And I'm just going to come down along my trees a little bit. Here we go. Just like that. All right, so we're done with this piece, and now we're going to bring in our little mini cut and emboss, which, by the way, is on sale until tomorrow. So if you're thinking about a die cut machine and you're not so sure that you want to get the big boss, get the little baby boss here. It is, I want to say like $48 right now. It's on sale. So I will put a link for that. Oh, and as I realized, I didn't do my pineapple here. So let's just get my... Just paying attention to what I'm doing, spreading that old olive out a little bit. Now we do have two different sets of watercolor pencils. The more classic colors are in the first assortment, and then you have some brighter ones in the second assortment. So I'm using the first assortment. All right, so I just trimmed my piece of paper down a little bit, and we're going to pull these dies in now. So going to my Into the Tropics, I'm going to pull in my palm trees. Okay, so I need to turn it this way so I can see it better, so I can get it all lined up. Oh, actually, sorry, I'm right-handed, so I just need to get this lined up. And yep, I'm still in the video. Okay. Always like to make sure I'm still on screen there. And then I'm going to take my little coconut, or my pineapple. I wish there was a little coconut in here. It'd make a lot more sense with the palm trees, but pineapple is supposed to represent like good luck and good fortune. So we're going to use the pineapple. All right, so we'll slide this through. Just like this. Go ahead and hold it down. And I'm just going to roll it back just for good measure, just to make sure it went completely through. When you're using the thinner basic white, you really don't have to worry about it. Sometimes with a thicker cardstock, you may have to roll it through twice just to make sure it gets fully cut. Or if your plates are all scratched up, when you're using thicker paper, you'll want to go through twice. So the moral to that is make sure that you have good plates. Like I said, if your plates are warped or scratched up, when you have a detailed shape, it's not going to cut as nicely. Sorry, the plates do, on occasion, have to be replaced. Okay, so we have this and this now. Let's see. What did I just do with the piece I stamped? Did I leave it in the... I thought I took it out. Oh, no. Here it is. Right here. All right. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this down. And I want to cut this to be 2 3/4 by 4 inches. So I'll bring my little trimmer here. I'm going to trim off this little white edge. Now, if I had made sure that my stamp had covered all the way, I could actually do 2 of these cards. You still can. One will be a little smaller than the other. Okay, so I'm going to cut this at 2 3/4. A piece of hair that got stuck there. All right. So this second one here you can use for another card. All right. And now I'm going to bring in my Coastal Cabana. Originally I cut this at I don't remember what even size this one is. What I need is a piece that is 3 inches by 4 1/4. So let's make sure what this is. Okay, that's 4. All right, so I need to go to 4 1/4 here. By 3 inches. All right. Pick this up. There we go. And I need to bring in a small piece of Sahara sand. Now this piece measures 2 by 3. I'm just going to rip it in half. Just like this. And you can give it some little dimension if you want. All right. I'm going to round that. Okay. So this is going to adhere right to my card front. And you can choose your waves whichever way you want them to go. Totally up to you. I kind of like the lighter color down towards the beach area. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to adhere it on, and then I'm going to snip off the ends because it's a little bit bigger than this. So let's go ahead and get some seal. We'll place this right along the edge, and I'm almost out of seal. I may have to switch to liquid glue there. All right. So now I'm just lining that up on the bottom. I'll flip it over, I'll cut off that excess. I could have cut it down to be the 2 3/4 right away, but I did not. All right. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and adhere these two pieces together. So just go ahead and add a little bit of seal here. Oh, yeah. I'm going to add some seal on this one, and then I'm going to bring in my dimensionals. And I'm going to put dimensionals on the back, but I'm not going to peel the backing off yet because I need to do my card base. So we'll get this added right here. All right, let's bring in the card base. I'm going to bring in a scrap piece of paper here. And make sure your card base is opening the way that you need it to. And I'll bring back in my stamp set and my daffodil ink. So I'm going to grab my pineapple again. Now you can grab whichever image. If you wanted to do your flowers, you can. But I'm going to grab this little guy here. And as soon as I find the block I want. Oh, here it is. Right here. Right where I left it. All right. So we're going to go ahead and take our daffodil. And Becky, if you can't message me on Facebook, go ahead and give my email a try. So you should have access to my emails. Okay, so there we go. So I've got that all done. Put that out of the way. We'll bring in our layer here and we'll pop this right off. So we got those little pieces out. I'm going to center that right in the middle. I'm going to bring in my palm trees and my little coconut here. And I need some place to put my, sentiment. So I've used the Taylor Tag punch and punched this out. But if you don't have that, you can always just use a strip of paper as well. So on here, I'm going to stamp thank you. You can do it in Coastal Cabana. You can do it in Bermuda Bay. I am just going to go ahead and stamp it in Stays On, because I have that handy and it kind of ties everything together here. So just go ahead and center that. There we go. Close that up. I'm going to use my liquid glue and adhere down my palm trees. Just a nice little tropical feel. It's kind of a gloomy day out here. I'm really waiting for some sunshine and warm weather. This card kind of just made me feel happy. And I needed thank you cards, so I was going to send some happy out. All right, on this one, I'm going to go ahead and put a dimensional on the bottom of my little guy here. And let's see, you can use either a regular dimensional or a mini. I'm grabbing whatever I have handy here, and we'll put that right at the bottom. I'm going to put a little bit of liquid glue right at the top, and we'll put this right down here just like that. Press that liquid glue down for just a moment. We will take, no, on my original one, I just tucked this behind. I think we'll still just tuck this behind. So I just need to lift that, slide that underneath just a little bit here. And there we go. Quick little thank you. Let's go ahead and stamp our inside. I'm going to come back in with a palm tree again. What did I do with the palm tree? Here it is. And when I have a stamp that is just a little bit bigger than my stamp pad, I like to bring my stamp pad to my block versus trying to put my block on my stamp pad, because sometimes it doesn't always work. And I'm just making sure I had that inked up really nice, because I'm going to risk only stamping. Oh, let's flip that over. Is this the right size? I must have had black ink somewhere on myself. I'm going to stamp this right here. Give it a nice press. Make sure it all gets on there evenly. There we go. It looks pretty good. Like that. We'll stamp a little pineapple on there too, just to kind of coordinate it with the front. I'm going to grab an envelope and we'll stamp it on there as well. And I got that one cleaned up. And I just need to clean my 2 stamps here, which I didn't do before. So let me just get those clean. And since I have daffodil on this one, I want to get it cleaned as well. Okay. Grab my stays on again. And ink that up really well. Put my little coconut. You know, we'll put the coconut over here. Yeah. I don't know where I want it. I guess we'll put it over here. We'll put it at a little bit of an angle. And now let's grab in our envelope. And I'm going to stamp it on the back flap. So I'm actually going to open that up. There we go. Just like that. Super quick and easy. All right. I'm going to bring back in my watercolor pencils. And we're going to color these a little bit. Oh, I drew them right out still. All right, here we go. So let's get our trees. And I'm just really putting a line down there because I'll bring back in my water painter in just a moment. And let's get a sentiment in here too while we're stamping, right? Okay, we'll color this in right away. I know the outside of a coconut. I keep saying coconut. I don't know why. I know the outside of the pineapple is usually brown or maybe a little greenish, but I decided that I really wanted to add a little yellow. Okay, there we go. All right, so this time I have one of the little thinner water painters. Gives me a little more control. Okay, I got a little piece of ink right, or piece of the lead kind of fell off there. All right. You can see I'm not being real particular about it. Now, just clean up over here. Now this is why I like blending the 2 colors together, because it's not so distinct that you put yellow and brown on there. Kind of blends it all. We'll go ahead and give this a swipe down here. Give this a little swipe over here. There we go. All right. And I'm just going to leave the envelope stamped like it was. We'll go ahead and put this on the inside of our card. Just like that. So just a little bit of tropical in your day. Hope you enjoy it. Hope you have a really great lunch today. And we'll see you later at 6:44 tomorrow night for Stampin' Fun and more. Thanks for joining me. Have a great day. Becky, I will check for your messages. Hello, Helen. All right. Have a great afternoon. Bye.